Hello friends, welcome back to my podcast channel. Thank you so much everybody for subscribing and liking my videos, and I hope you all liked the guest interviews that I've done. And yes, I'll be bringing some more interesting and informative podcasts and also guest interviews in the coming weeks. So yes, today my topic is about the very sensitive and also the topic which is very serious and important for everybody, that is the growth of our child. So the growth of our child, we see in various dimensions, like in various directions: physical growth, mental growth, and like his abilities to recognize, to read, write, everything. So the very common thing that we hear these days is that the kids are going through ADHD or autism or some neurological disorders. So yes, these all are the right things that are brought to our concern, so that the parents are aware of everything and we take the necessary steps which are important to improve the situation and the condition of the kids. But sometimes these are also creating negativity among the parents, whereas the parents are getting tensed and over cautious that maybe the child, maybe their child is going to have this or their child is having this. So they are taking a lot of care and then bringing the kids to the doctors, taking them to the therapy sessions and all. So I just want to tell that you just have to first notice the proper growth of your child. So if the child is growing according to the normal milestones that the child is reaching, then I don't think there's any need, because if we talk about speech delay, so particularly my topic today is about speech delay. So if we talk about speech delay, some kids, they may or may not talk by the age of 2, so slowly they will start talking by 3 or 4. But by then you just have to see how is the behavior, what are they doing, how are they reacting. So like I'll just quickly tell about some milestones the child has to cover. That is by I think 4 to 8 months, they start making some sounds, they start shouting, or they start recognizing people and showing their joy. And by the time they reach 1 year, they start using some like small one words like mama, papa, aja, or baba, such words. And then by 2 years, or all the word collections that they've learned in this last 1 year, they start slowly to frame sentences using 2 words, right? Like I want, or don't want, or I will come. So like whatever language they are teaching, whatever language the child is following. So these are some of the milestones. So this is like the normal growth, normal speech growth. And in case if the child is not able to talk by 2 years, okay, when the child is not talking, even the 2 words, then just see these things. Okay, just see if these things are ticking. That is, if the child is pointing out at things when whatever the child wants, the child is asking, or he's understanding what you're telling, like the commands or instructions or the orders that you're giving, like don't go or sit down, stand up, such things he's understanding. Next, the child is responding when the child's name is called, right, by you or by your relatives, family members, friends. So the child is responding, the child is turning back, looking at you, or responding to some sounds. Okay, so if all these things are normal, then the child is almost 90% normal. Just maybe there is some speech delay which can be overcome by just simple tricks and tips that can be followed at home. I don't think the child needs any therapy for this. But in case these things are not done by the child, if the child is not responding, even if you call out for the child's name, the child is just busy with whatever the child is doing, and the child is not pointing out at anything, like even they ask like numbers, fruits, vegetables, even those if you ask and the child cannot say the name, if you show them the picture books, they will point out at that particular fruit or vegetable. So if such things are not being done by the child, then the child needs some medical help, maybe some therapies or some sessions which the doctors will prescribe or suggest. So yes, so if all these things are okay but still the child is not talking, so I will just refer a few tips and tricks which you can do, which many of the parents have followed and also I have read and heard by some of the doctors. So these are like simple things. Like if you want to make the child converse with you, make the child use different words to talk to you, you can do a few things, you can follow a few things. Like suppose there's a very favorite toy of your child, just put that toy or any other thing which the child likes, and whole day the child is holding it or playing with it. You can put it in a box, in a container which is a transparent container, so that the child can see that the thing is there in this box. And now when the child wants it, obviously the child will come to you and the child will ask you to open it. Maybe the child will do some actions, ask you to open it. So that time, because the child is obviously in a hurry, he wants it immediately to play, then you can ask the child to use certain words like open or give, okay, or whatever language you follow. So one single word at a time you can start teaching him. So in that in that situation, the child will obviously say the word or repeat after you and then get his thing. So a similar situation you can create by again keeping his favorite or anything that he needs it. You can keep it at a height so that the child can see but cannot reach there. And again the same procedure you can do, that you can ask him to tell the word, to take it and give it to me, okay. And then usually what happens is when we are like giving something or asking the child something, usually our questions are like where the child just has to say yes or no, right? So for that, easily the child can just nod his head for yes or for no, and the job is done. So try to frame questions where the child has to say the name of the thing. Like suppose you're having a glass of juice in your hand, don't ask him that do you want it or no. Just say that what is this or which juice do you want. Then maybe the child will recognize the juice, like orange juice or some grape juice or anything that the child wants to say. And then another thing is that in the houses where the kids have elder siblings, like maybe just 2 or 3 years gap. So what happens when this child is trying to say something, the elder kids, they understand it before even if the parents are noticing, and then they go and convey it to the parents. So the child's work is done over there also. So then the child doesn't need to try or even practice talking. So this is another thing which happens. So you can tell those elder kids also, the siblings also, to help the child to talk. Let him first finish what he wants to say, and then they can identify and they can do whatever he wants. So these were some things that we can do in the house. And another few tips which will increase the conversation of the child when the child is actually saying few words. So the previous ones are for the kids who are not able to even say a word, but they are doing all other things. So now the other things are like when the child is saying few words but not talking so much. So for this, what you can do is try to indulge the child in long conversations with you, like tell the child what happened or what you did, what you have cooked or anything. Just sit and talk with the child. And then you can also start the practice of telling stories. Usually if you have some habits which you want to put in your child, you can tell them through stories, some good manners if you want to teach, some moral stories. So also the story should have some curiosity, some element which develops curiosity in the child. You can ask questions related to the story that you're telling, that like, what was the name of the boy, what did he have, or what was he playing with. So then the child will also get into the story and try to answer the questions. And then another thing is you can play some favorite songs of the child, the movie songs or anything, or some rhymes or poems, and you can also sing along with them, so that even then the child will also try to pronounce those particular words from the songs that he is listening. And then most important, which is the root cause of many problems, is the TV time or the mobile time. So we have to reduce the screen time. I know it's not possible to entirely remove the screen time, but yeah, you can reduce. And also try not to give phone a lot. You can just put those similar videos in TV, connect the YouTube channel to the TV, and that way it's a little better than watching in the phone. So yes, the lesser the screen time, the more the child will interact with the people around them. And because when the child is just sitting and watching TV, the whole time he's just sitting calm and quiet. So he's completely into the TV, and he doesn't have to speak anything the entire time. So yes, you can reduce the TV time, and you can appreciate whenever the child is trying to talk something and perfectly the child has conveyed something. So even when you appreciate, then the child feels that okay, he has done something which is appreciated, and maybe he will again try to do those things again and again and repeat that, practice what he's doing. So yes, listeners, so these were a few things that I wanted to share with the parents and the new moms who are worried about the speech delay in their children. So I hope it's useful and informative, and I'll be back with some more other topics. Thank you. Bye.